Girl, I'm done with you living your life beneath your potential. If you're unhappy with where you are right now, whether you are in your 20s or in your 30s, it is time to make changes. You want to create your best life. You want to become the best version of yourself, and you're done with your self-sabotage. You're done with doing the same things over and over again, even though you really want other things for yourself, then this video is for you. You're here to upgrade your life, and I'm going to help you do that. This is the period of your life where you glow up. So there's no more time to postpone. There's no more time to self-sabotage. There's no more time to procrastinate. We're done with this. You want to feel confident. You want to have the body of your dreams. It's all possible. And I'm going to share the life upgrades that I've done in my 30s that completely transformed my body, my love life, my career, my looks. I look so much better now than I did in my 20s. Me in my 20s, me now. And it's all down to a few little upgrades that everyone can do. So here we go. The first upgrade that you're going to do is you're going to upgrade your standards. And this goes in all areas of your life. Your standards when it comes to dating, when it comes to your partners. Because I can tell you, in your 20s, you probably have really low standards when it comes to dating.
As long as you get some attention and the guy is cute and maybe makes a little bit of money.
But even that wasn't even standard for me. Like, I dated, like, my ex-boyfriend still lived with his parents. And that should have been a red flag. It's not always a red flag, especially if he's ambitious and he lives with his parents because he wants to save money because he's building his own business or something. That was not the case for me. Now my standards are quite high.
I'm not dealing with shit anymore.
I have friends who are in relationships now in their late 30s and they are still accepting the bare freaking minimum. Some are even accepting less than that. This relationship is literally aging you because you are so stressed the whole time. Because this guy is an idiot. You need to say no to people. You need to have standards with your friends and you need to have standards with yourself. You need to have standards with the habits that you do. You need to have standards with the boundaries that you set for yourself. You need to start to freaking value yourself. In your 30s, you're really stepping into your friggin' power and you cannot have low standards anymore for yourself. You're only gonna be in your 30s once and you're gonna make the most out of it. Your 30s is going to be your upgrade era. Low standards drain your potential. They make you look older, they make you look ugly, they ruin your mental health, they suck. The next thing you're gonna upgrade is your morning. I have a whole video on how I became a morning person. You need to start to have a freaking morning routine. You have to master your mornings. Your mornings are literally the blueprint for the rest of your day. It's how you set yourself up. You're priming yourself for the rest of your day. You wanna get things done during the day. You wanna show up for yourself. You wanna be on track with your eating. You need to prime yourself in the morning. I don't care what your morning routine looks like. It doesn't have to be a 20-step morning routine like the wellness gurneys out there. If you are working like I do, you don't have time for that. But you need to do things that put you into the right mindset, that get you into that future self energy. A morning routine literally changed my life, and I started this in my 30s. I had no morning routine before that. The way you start your day becomes the way you live your life. If you just fall out of bed, maybe brush your teeth, have a shower, and then nothing else, then you just rush to work, that is not a morning routine. That will just put you into a stress mindset right away. You will be already at a low when you get to work because you're like, oh no, you need time to yourself in the morning. A few sentences of journaling just to like get you into the headspace of what am I actually doing today? What is my focus for today? If you're on a weight loss journey, for example, what is your focus for today? Like not overeating, not binging, eating things that nourish my body. You need to write it down to have that connection to literally your brain is here. Yeah, that's a computer and you have to constantly program it. And that's why morning routine is so powerful. And then you're gonna upgrade your circle. You're gonna upgrade your friends. If your friends are still smoking weed and hanging out and just not doing anything, being lazy, but you're someone who wants to grow, start something, start a business, start content creation, you need to upgrade your circle. You can still be friends with these people, but these should not be your only people that you hang out with. If people constantly use you as a trash can for their mental problems, that is just gonna lower your energy. That's a life downgrade. If your circle doesn't feel like expansion, it's time to upgrade it. Find people and start hanging out with people who you aspire to be like, who have a lifestyle that you want to live like. If you want to lose weight, hang out with people who value wellness, who value going to the gym, running, walking, who value healthy nutrition. I have 2 videos on how to make friends in your 30s and how to find friends if you're struggling with that. If you have outgrown friendships that keep you in the past and it always feels like when you come back to them, you're just this old version of yourself, you need to switch it up. I still have friends from school that I absolutely love and that always want to be friends with them, but they also up level. I don't feel like they're pulling me down. And sometimes you can be that friend who lifts them up. You can be an inspiration for your friends. You will notice if you're an inspiration for your friends because they actually love what you're doing and they like want to know more about it and they're curious about it, rather than the friend who is always going to be negative about what you're doing. That is not a friend you want to hang out with anymore. You want to upgrade your nourishment, your nutrition, and the way you feed yourself. I was so stuck in dieting, yo-yo dieting when I was in my 20s. I was pretty fat in my early 20s. I lost weight and I put weight on, like yo-yo dieting. I have a whole video on that. But I had no idea about nutrition. I had no idea about gut health. I had no idea about protein. I had no idea about nourishing your body. In my 30s, I got certified as a nutritionist. I don't really work as a nutritionist. I really love to do the certification because it really helped me to understand what certain foods actually do to you, your metabolic system. I learned about blood sugar control. This was mind-blowing. I had no idea about it. That when you have a really sweet breakfast, like a croissant, like a chocolate croissant, the calories might be just as much as an oatmeal bowl or a yogurt bowl, but it will spike your blood sugar. You're not going to actually be full afterwards. So it's not all just about the calories. It's about how you feel, how the food makes you feel. Because yes, you can have the same amount of calories, but if that food just makes you more peckish, gives you a headache, makes you just have a lot of food noise because you want to keep eating, then that is not the right way to feed yourself. So you need to have standards for yourself what you put into your body. It's not actually that tasty. If it's like kind of mediocre, just don't finish it. Just because it's on your plate, you don't need to finish it. If I now eat something that I'm kind of like,
It's okay, but I'm not loving this.
I'm not going to eat it. I want to feed my body things that I truly love and enjoy eating. So I have standards for my treats, the meals that I eat, and if I don't actually really enjoy the food, if it's not matching the standard that I have, then I'm not going to eat it. I'm not just going to consume the calories just because they're there. What works best for me, and I never had this before, is an 80-20 approach. That is that you eat 80% whole food, really focus on gut health, focus on good protein that makes you feel satiated, that helps you build muscle, especially if you work out like I do. And then there's 20% that is just joy food. That could be anything. That could be croissant, that could be donuts, that could be ice cream, that could be alcohol. The 80% fuels you, fuels your body, fuels your brain, fuels your mind, and the 20% fuels your soul. Really focusing on, that was such a big upgrade for me when it comes to nutrition and eating, is to focusing on feeling my best. If I never allow myself having certain foods and I have this sort of orthorexic mindset around it where it's like, oh, this is like just so bad for my body, that stresses me out. I don't think that's a good approach because I do like certain foods that are ultra processed and I want to have them. But if I eat too much of them, then I will not feel good. Upgrade your self-care. When I say self-care, I don't really mean massages or bubble bath or something like that. Proper self-care, guys, I did not know about this at all in my 20s, is to regulate your nervous system and to calm your body, to lower your stress. If you can start to regulate your nervous system, that is so powerful. You're going to stop to react quicker and being so like reactive and defensive. You have more emotional control that makes you way more confident. You're managing your spirals, your anxiety, you become unbothered. And being unbothered is a superpower. I have a whole video on being unbothered. If you're able to regulate your nervous system, you're gonna stop to binge eat, to overeat, to compensate with unhealthy coping mechanisms like eating or shopping or alcohol or even over-exercising. Things that could be healthy can actually be unhealthy for you because over-exercising is actually really stressful for your body. Breathing techniques, meditation, journaling, walking, speaking it out. Like there's so many ways of regulating your nervous system. If you want, I can make a whole video on this and literally upgrade your whole life if you understand how to do that. Then you're gonna upgrade your finances. Especially if you're girly, you need to be financially literate. You need to be financially independent. I don't want you to depend on some dude and having like the soft life. Like that is not what I will promote ever. I want you to be an independent girly. I want you to be a badass. I want you to be a powerful woman. And a powerful independent woman makes her own freaking money. I feel like especially as women, we have a lot of this mindset blocks with money and we have really bad money mindset. I also learned about money mindset in my 30s. I had no idea this was even a thing. But you have a relationship with money and most of our relationships with money is pretty bad. I'm still working on this, to be honest, but I got so much better with this. And one reason why I got better with this is because I upgraded my circle in the way that I started to hang out with women who make more money, who have really good jobs, who invest money. That kind of really helped me to see that this is also possible for me, and there's no shame around wanting to make more money and wanting to be wealthy and wanting to be able to afford nice things for yourself. This is the first aspect, I think, when it comes to money mindset, that you let go of the shame of wanting to make a lot of money. But what I really mean with upgrading your finances is not necessarily making a lot of money. It is just being smarter with your money that you currently make. Stop avoiding your finances. Stop looking at your bank account because you feel bad. You need to start to actually track your finances a little bit more and be quite honest with yourself. Like, what are the spendings that you do that are just not necessary, that are just draining your bank account, basically? For me, for example, it was Amazon orders, and it was also like just shopping, buying clothes. Like paying 50 euros for a shirt, that is ridiculous. That is so unnecessary. And now when I go shopping, I always think about, is this really necessary? I just bought trainers for 90 euros. I really needed them. My trainers are so old, they're hideous, and I just wanted the same trainers but new ones. That was an investment for me that was necessary. I don't need 20 shoes. Always think about, is this not necessary? And I think a problem with this is also TikTok and Instagram and all this like fashion girlies that is always just promoting buying all these things. You don't need all of that, especially when it's draining your finances. You need to be smart with your finances. You need to be more strategic. Yeah, you need to start building wealth. Instead of just putting money aside for savings, that money will lose actually its value. So you want to make sure you start investing. Here, one of my favorite TikTokers who talks about finance, she's great. She makes it really clear. I learned quite a lot from her. And when you consume more and more of that content and less of that buy all this stuff, buy all this clothes content, maybe that's another point. Upgrade your For You page. If you want to lose weight, stop watching all the crumble cookies reviews. Stop watching all the mukbangs. If you want to be more literate with finance, follow the finance people and stop following the people who just shop. Curate your For You page in alignment with your goal. Glow up your free time for personal growth. This was also something that is really important. And that could be something that is just a hobby, something that pushes you, that you're doing something that kind of grows you just outside of your daily routines, of which is probably, especially in your 30s, which is work. Maybe your relationship, if you're not single, your circle of friends that you see around, your working hours. But if you're a full-time working girly, maybe you go to the gym, maybe then you cook a little bit. That's it. You need to have some sort of passion project that you do outside of that. I think that will give you fulfillment, because unless your job is proper fulfillment, you are wasting your potential. That's why I love doing content creation. I'm not really planning, at least now, to be a full-time content creator. I just love doing it on the side. I actually do like my day job. I like the stability it gives me. I also like to do content as a side gig. Find something that you really like. I have a whole video on finding a hobby. If you struggle with it, I give you loads of ideas. But build something that is yours. You going to work and work for someone else's wealth is not yours. If you want to build a personal brand, if you want to have a creative outlet, if you want to maybe start a side business, a side gig, maybe you want to do some art, maybe you want to do acting, dancing, fashion design, your future self will thank you for starting now. Upgrade your style. You need to start to curate a style that is really you and your future self, that you're attracted to. Developing a personal style that will also push you a little bit outside of your comfort zone. Find something that feels like you. I feel like now a lot of people just look completely the same on social media. Everyone has this like sleek bun look. I'm not the sleek bun girly, and I had to maybe go through this to find out who I am. So find something that actually resonates with you. I like a bold eyeshadow, because when you actually start to look like you, and with you I mean like the future self version that you want to be and that really resonates with you, like you just know when it feels like it's aligned with you, then you start to respect yourself more. You're gonna feel more confident, and when you feel more confident and you have this badass energy, that magnetism, then the world will treat you differently. Quality over quantity. Anytime and a new season starts, summer or autumn, you always feel like you need all these things, all these trendy things, because what happens when everybody like then buys these things, guess what? You just become a clone. I saw so many girlies last year with a sleek bun, Adidas Zambas, and a trench coat. If that is a style that really resonates with you, great. But I feel like oftentimes we're just trying to copy people to be like cool or to be like hip, but I just don't think that's actually cool. I think having your own aesthetic and your own vibe is what is really truly cool. And then I want you to upgrade your beauty routine. That was a huge upgrade I did in my 30s. For me, this is an investment that's always worth it. I love spending money on beauty things like skincare, treatments. I just went microneedling with exosomes. That was not cheap. That was like 200 euros. I saved for that. It has done so much for me, guys. Look at me when I turned 30. Look at this. My skin is so good right now. My under eye bags are like gone. All my friends always tell me like, what do you do with your skin? Your skin looks so smooth. Because we're all in our late 30s, early 40s, right? All my friends. It is a skincare routine that you need. You need to start investing in this. Always wear SPF, also in your 20s. And you have to have some sort of routine. I promise I will make a video on this. Skincare routine for anti-aging. I think this might actually be my next video, so make sure to subscribe to not miss this. Because in your 30s, you have to start taking your anti-aging seriously. And looking good is not vain. It's a form of self-respect. People who tell you you're vain, they are normally ugly people. They don't care about their looks. Good for them. I care about my looks. I want to look my best. Then you need to upgrade your vision. You need to let yourself want more. Most women in their 20s, in their 30s, they are playing small and then calling it being realistic. God, you're not being realistic. You're holding yourself back from being the best freaking version you can be. Being realistic is just being scared of going after what you truly want, and it is not allowing yourself your desires. We all have a desire to do something differently, to be someone better. You're just telling yourself you're being realistic. No, you're actually dimming your light, and you're not actually living into your potential, which is so freaking sad. Your vision is your GPS. You need a vision. Don't just wake up and be like, oh, whatever, like I just see what happens. And the see what happens people, nothing will happen for you. Stop, see what happens. You need to make it happen. If you do not define who you want to be and you get clear on who you want to be and what the habits, routines are that this person has, they're going to be different from who you are now. You're just going to keep living on autopilot and nothing actually will happen. And then you get frustrated and you'll be like in victim mindset and you'll be like,
all these people, they're so lucky, they have all these things.
No, all these people actually do something. They actually take action. They actually put effort into it. And they actually have the energy, like the belief that they are deserving of good things. They have the lucky girl mindset that things are just gonna happen for them. They believe in their vision. If nothing was off limit, if there was no obstacles, if everything was possible, if I could just switch my finger and have what I truly want, what would that be? Desire isn't delusion, it's direction. The desire that you have, I truly 100% believe that is your GPS of what you're capable of what you are meant to create in this world. Wanting isn't greedy, wanting is guidance. Think about food that you crave. That is not greedy to crave donuts or to crave a takeout. It tells you something. It is guidance for yourself. Either you've undereaten, you've been too restrictive, you are trying to cover up an emotion. What is the emotion? What is the feeling? What is the anxiety that you're feeling? It's always a guidance. This decade, your 30s, is about going all in. If you want the next level, it starts with the next level version of yourself. You need to upgrade yourself. You need to upgrade your thinking. You need to upgrade your beliefs. You need to upgrade your identity. And I love that concept. I learned this also in my 30s, that it's all about identity. It's not just the habits, not just the doing, not just the actions that you take, not just the dieting that will get you like a different body. It's the identity that you have and that you do those actions with. You need to stop living from your old programming. Who you are now is the old programming. You need to start showing up as the version that you want to be. That's why I think journaling is so powerful, because you can literally prime yourself in showing up as that person. My future self version today, she will eat like this. She will not overeat. She will not just finish the plate because it's on the plate. My future self version will go on a hot girl walk. My future self version will sit down and record this YouTube video, even though she might not feel like it. But think about who that is. My future version just does it, even though she doesn't feel like it. She just gets it done because she's a freaking badass. Upgrading your whole life really start and is the core is upgrading the way you see yourself. If you have low self-esteem, you're gonna create a low life, a life that is beneath your potential. And you can work on that. And becoming her is not something that is outside of you, that is super hard, that is only available for other people. It is a choice that you make every day. That choice feels sometimes really hard in your body because your lower brain just wants to keep the identity that you currently have. That's why there's always this struggle between lower self and higher self. Your higher self wants to be that next level version. Your lower self wants to stay where you are right now because that feels safe, that feels secure. You need to learn to live in alignment with your higher self more. And that lower self is just that inner toddler that you have that is just chatting, that is just blabbering. That is not supposed to drive your life. Start showing up in alignment with who you want to be. I hope this was helpful for you. Make sure to follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, where I share a lot more like vlog content and how I incorporate this kind of mindset into my life. Love you guys. See you soon.